Hello everybody. In this video we will try to understand the 14th Nakshatra, that is Chitra Nakshatra. This Nakshatra ranges from 23 degree 20 minutes of Virgo to 6 degree 40 minutes of Libra. So the first two padas of Chitra Nakshatra are in Virgo, whereas the next two padas, or you can say the last two padas of Chitra Nakshatra, are in the sign of Libra. So Chitra Nakshatra has one star, it has one single star. Every nakshatra has some group of stars, or sometimes a nakshatra can have only one single star. If you observe Ashwini Nakshatra, it has two stars in it. If you observe Kritika Nakshatra, it has 7 stars in it. And if you observe Hasta Nakshatra, the previous one, it has 5 stars in it. Whereas Chitra Nakshatra has a single star. Even Rohini Nakshatra has a single star. Arudra Nakshatra has a single star. So, if you observe Chitra Nakshatra, it has a single bright star with a visual magnitude of 1.06. If visual magnitude is higher, the brightness is lower. If the visual magnitude is lower, the brightness is more. Here, the visual magnitude 1.06 is considered to be a bit lower only. So, its Chitra Nakshatra is very bright in nature. Even in the polluted skies, you can see Chitra Nakshatra in the night sky. And Chitra Nakshatra is very famous nakshatra in the whole nakshatra system because of its deity Vishwakarma, is also called as Twastar. Vishwakarma is the divine architect. So, Chitra Nakshatra, what is Chitra basically? Chitra means there are so many meanings for this word Chitra in Sanskrit literature. Chitra means glittering, brilliant, bright, artful, beautiful, many colored, and there are so many meanings. Chitra also means magic. So, if you observe Chitra Nakshatra, its symbol is a big, bright, shining jewel. Gemstones. When you talk about Chitra Nakshatra, you talk about artwork, you talk about engineering, you talk about a very systematic and constructive approach, a very architectured approach to solve a problem. That is Chitra basically. Chitra is brilliance. Chitra is nothing but a big, bright, shining jewel. So gemstones are formed under conditions of intense heat and pressure, acting over rocks and minerals for millions of years. A gemstone cannot be formed in a single day, right? See, on a material plane, the universe has to come a long way from the initial Big Bang to the stage where gems are produced on planets such as the earthy planet, the Earth. So a gem, if you observe, can be seen to be the apex of the universe's striving for beauty and perfection of form. That's why Chitra people, they want that perfectionism. They want to be perfect in whatever they try to do. That is the fundamental nature of Chitra. Because the gemstones are not formed in a single day by lot of striving, by lot of efforts. The gemstones are formed. See, Hasta, you observed Hasta Nakshatra is nothing but the handyman of the zodiac. They're related to the Hasta Nakshatra energy is basically related to artisans and handymen who are into light crafts like handicrafts, right? That is Hasta. Hasta has this kind of crafting nature to some extent, but this crafting nature became very, very perfect in Chitra. So, Chitra, the crafts are taken to another level, and perfection of form is achieved in Chitra energy. See, Chitra is therefore associated with the final appearance and form of everything in nature. A, a very, very, disciplined and constructive form you can see by because of this Chitra Nakshatra energy. And even if you see the ruling deity, the Vishwakarma, right? Even he was responsible for giving our sun its final present day form. People generally say this. Chitra is nothing but giving the final form, the complete, well defined, well refined form to anything. It's the perfectionism is Chitra basically. See, it is the Chitra energy to finally oversee how a thing should look, whether it be a galaxy in the universal level or on the earthly plane. You take a small leaf, right? The Chitra energy, how it is functioning in the universe, it is the energy the universe is using. It is the Chitra energy that the universe is using to define the final form of everything in the universe. That is how Chitra energy is working in the universe. And its alternative symbolism is a pearl, and pearls are formed in an oyster's moments of irritation. In much the same way, art comes out of the artist's moments of irritation and depression. And Chitra is related to the mysterious essence behind creativity, using its clear understanding of the laws of the universe. And it has the ability to fashion new, wonderful, and delightful things out of seemingly nothing at all. Chitra is the beauty, Chitra is the perfection, Chitra is defining the final form, right? So, Chitra is related to the mysterious essence behind creativity, using its clear understanding of the laws of the universe. So, let us say I want to design a beautiful ornament. So, how much perfectionism, I should have? Just imagine. That is Chitra basically. Chitra has that energy. In its higher aspect, if you observe, Chitra allows one to see beyond the illusion of form, giving access to the pearl of true knowledge. So Chitra people, they have the ability to design the core, and also the ability to design the top of the core for a beautiful appearance. They have these abilities. And you see the deity of Chitra, the celestial architect, Thwastar, also called as Vishwakarma, is the main ruling deity of this nakshatra, and he is usually referred by the name Vishwakarma only in all the Vedic literature. So, and this Vishwakarma is said to be an adept in Maya, the illusory force which keeps alive the drama of life. He is expert in it, and Vishwakarma uses his knowledge of Maya to create, mutate, and fashion new forms out of the pre-existing ones. You know, so this particular behavior of Vishwakarma, it seems like a magic. It seems like a magic for everybody. And his workings are often done in secret, and a shroud of mystery surrounds his character. He can build anything. He can build anything in the world. That is the and also the work of Vishwakarma is very, very perfect. And he is very mysterious also, because nobody knows how he makes. You give him clay, he would make something very great, and you would think Is it really made by clay? You would just get surprised, right? So, to understand the mysterious behavior of Chitra Nakshatra energy, to make the things very beautiful, to beautify the things, and also the underlying core work is very, very mysterious. So, if you want to understand this mysterious aspect better, we have to take our present day example. What is that example I want to tell you is, see, most of the human population on our planet are completely unaware of how normal soil containing silicon is fashioned into a computer. Just from silicon, you are making a computer chip, an IC, an integrated circuit, right? See, this particular magic is that magic is of Chitra's energy. Out of silicon, out of silicon from a normal soil, the making ICs, right? It is one of the greatest things. Even there are so many other great things that Chitra energy can make in the universal level, in the material plane, on the earthly plane. You take any, right? So, most of the gods and other celestial beings do not have a clue as to how Vishwakarma creates magnificent structures using the most basic elements, right? So even on our planet we can see that the most important thing defining a civilization is its architecture. Based on the architecture, we come to know about the culture and civilization of a society. If you want to know the Indian culture, you generally go to the temples, the temple architecture, and almost all the temples in India were made by this Vishwakarma, group of people, right? And see the beauty of those temples, how they built it. Out of rocks they built the magnificent structures, and it's very, very surprising for all the people. you know that is the energy of Vishwakarma, that is the energy of Chitra, right? And there is none better than Vishwakarma in material architecture, and consequently, none surpasses Chitra as far as arts, crafts, design, and architecture, beauty, proportion, and all these things are concerned. No one can even touch Chitra's energy. That is the beauty of Chitra's energy. So Chitra is the grand illusion maker, creating delightful things, forms, objects, architecture, design, whatever. They, if you see them, you feel like yes, I'm living, my life is worth, because I'm watching this beauty, I'm watching this architecture, I'm watching this design, right? So Chitra energy also makes a person to feel like his life is worth living. And Vishwakarma, even though he is friendly to the gods, but he has no particular commitment to any god. He is not, a friend of any god, but and also he is not a student of any god, but he makes the things for all the gods, and all the gods like him. And that's why in India, if you see the temples, the Vishwakarma made temples for, you know the Vishwakarma energy or the Chitra energy made temples for so many gods, so many Hindu gods, right? So in literature, in Vedic literature also, Vishwakarma was never portrayed as committing to one particular god, right? And he himself is a kind of Hindu god. He is, some in some cultures, some people, chant Vishwakarma, as, or people pray Vishwakarma as one of the Indian gods, right? So such kind of energy Vishwakarma has, such kind of skill set, such kind of It's just skill set is a simple word. Such kind of the knowledge, or what you can say, the magnificent energy that can build any architecture, Vishwakarma possesses. See, he creates all lokas. It's not just about the kind of temples that you see in India, or the kind of you know um, idols or whatever. It's not only about that. Vishwakarma actually created all lokas as well. All planes of existence were created by Vishwakarma. That's why he was treated as a god. And in Vedic literature, he was given a very, very, very great place he was given. And all, for all races, whether it can be human race or godly race, demonic race, serpent race, any race you take, you know, Vishwakarma is able to, Vishwakarma is able to, was able to, create anything. And it is Vishwakarma who fashions thunderbolts for Indra, right? Who actually who fashioned thunderbolts for Indra? Vishwakarma only. Indra, who is Indra? Indra is the king of heavenly hosts, right? But Vishwakarma has a brother. His name, as per Vedic literature, is Trishira. Trishira means three, Shira means head. He is three headed. Vishwakarma's brother is three headed, and he is a demon, and he is an enemy of Indra. Right? See, Indra, whenever Indra wants something to build, Indra asks Vishwakarma, because Indra feels Vishwakarma as his friend, and Vishwakarma also behaves that way only. But whereas Trishira, he is completely against Indra. That's where you cannot classify this particular Chitra energy into one particular thing. It can be good or it can be bad also. Chitra energy, it's really difficult, but Chitra has this talent. But Chitra energy you cannot classify into good, evil, crooked, or any kind of saint energy. You cannot classify, because Chitra's energy is very, very, Chitra has a very great talent of architecture and design, right? But you cannot, it can be good or bad also, right? If some malefic planet is sitting in Chitra, the same architecture and design can be used, for not only for it can be used for something bad, something evil also, right? And Vishwakarma also doesn't know, he doesn't know the things that he is building would cause some destruction of the societies or not. He also has no clue at all, but he has the talent. Chitra has the talent. See, Vishwakarma, Chitra, these energies, they create without a care for the far reaching implications of what they are creating, right? See, you know, Vishwakarma created a palace, right, built for the Pandavas. If you see Mahabharata, you can clearly understand Vishwakarma only built the palace for Pandavas, and then that only led to the final great war. The Maya Sabha, right, was actually created by Vishwakarma. And after creating Maya Sabha only, this kind of war, right, happened. The great war happened, and that is one of the causes for that war. And Vishwakarma, he did not know that the kind of the palace that he is building would create a conflict, would create, would become the root cause of the great war Mahabharata. So, even in the present day and age, all kinds of new weapons of war are fashioned every day by scientists, technicians, and engineers. If you observe how they are fashioning, how they are the architecture and design of weapons, if you observe, it's it's very very magnificent, you can say, but they are ultimately creating wars, right? Of course the weapons are intended to be used in wars, but at the same time the weapons are used for peace also. When two countries, when let us say two countries want to do war, but they both have same kind of weapons, they have same strength, then there would be no war, as each country would be afraid of losing, right? So these weapons, they can't be held responsible for the way these weapons are used by politicians and the ruling elite, right? So the weapons, the design and architecture of the weapons are very good, but ultimately they would be responsible for war, and also sometimes they would be responsible for peace as well. So basically, Vishwakarma talent, the talent of Vishwakarma or Chitra energy, it does not have any clue about what it is going to be responsible for. What are the implications of, you know, this particular energy? But it has that architecture, the perfectionism, that particular talent. And if you observe, the essence of Chitra is basically creating art. So create, right? The creation of Chitra is not similar to the creation of other nakshatras that we talked about. Even Rohini has this particular Chitra's energy, the kind of creation energy, I want to say. But that energy is different. That creation is not related to perfectionism and all. That's the creation of Rohini is completely different from Chitra. Chitra is something like engineering, perfectionism, but Rohini is beauty and also food creation, the natural creation, right? That's raw creation. But here in Chitra, the creation is very, very civilized, right? So Chitra's energy has one particular phrase attached to it, that is create and create. So Chitra is a dynamic, energetic nakshatra which has very little ability to sit still. Chitra always wants to work. It likes to involve itself in one creative activity or another. So when this creativity is in harmony with universal functionings, all goes well for Chitra natives. So the ability of Chitra, if it is in, let us say, Chitra energy built one big castle, and that castle is now becoming a shelter for some millions of people, and that's a good thing. And let us say Chitra energy, because of Chitra energy, a very big uh, weapon is created, or a very big powerhouse is created, a very big nuclear plant is created, right? The architecture and design is basically Chitras only. You can see Chitra everywhere. Wherever you find the perfect thing, the perfect weapon, perfect building, anything perfect, if you find, that is Chitra only. The refined version of anything is Chitra's energy only. And so this energy can lead to the good things and also the evil. That's what I want to tell, right? So however, you see, Chitra natives can become unbalanced, selfish, indulgent creatures when they are completely, not into the universal will. You know, the universal functioning, if they are in harmony with all the universal functioning, that's very good. But if they are, if the energy is not into, let us say someone is creating a very big robo, very very perfect robo, but he is creating that robo for, you know for the destruction of humanity. This is also Chitra's energy only. right? And Chitra natives are obsessed with appearance, complexity, structure, and form. They're very much obsessed. They want that final form to be very much refined and look very beautiful. So, this particular nakshatra has to do with Maya, illusion, and glamour also. Chitra approaches things from an architectural and aesthetic point of view. See, there are different levels of Maya if you observe. See, it can operate on the superficial external levels like a desire to protect outer beauty and in one's need to create harmony and a balance in relationships with others, right? See, Chitra energy has so many interesting things associated with it. We'll talk about that in our next video. Thanks for watching this video.